The air was thick with the scent of pine and cinnamon. But for Lauren Harper, 32, the warmth of her family's Connecticut home felt like a lie. She froze mid-step, a string of Christmas lights dangling from her hands, as venomous words slithered through the half-open kitchen door. Mom, make her foot the bill for the remodel. Then cut her loose. Her sister, Vanessa, hissed. It's humiliating to call her family their mother. Diane replied with chilling calm. We're already on it. The inheritance goes to you. Laughter followed, sharp, mocking. She's such a loser. Vanessa sneered. A construction worker? She'll die alone. Pathetic. Lauren's pulse pounded. But she didn't scream. She looped the lights around the porch railing, took 3 deep breaths, and plastered on a smile that hid the knife twisting in her chest. For 32 years, Lauren had poured her soul into this family. Single, financially independent, she'd funded their lavish vacations, bought Diane's designer handbags, and sunk $62 into renovating this sprawling colonial house. All for a scrap of their approval. But under the glow of the Christmas lights she'd hung with care, everything warped into something ugly. She'd sensed the betrayal brewing. Diane hiding her phone screen, whispering calls, exchanging glances with Vanessa that knotted Lauren's stomach. After 3 decades as a daughter, you develop a nose for deceit. That morning, Lauren had marinated a prime rib for 3 days, baked pecan cookies from scratch, and arranged poinsettias until her fingers ached, chasing the fleeting hope that this Christmas, they'd finally see her. But those overheard words shattered that dream. Something inside her hardened, like cement setting in her bones. She wouldn't confront them, not yet. Instead, she grabbed the cranberry sauce, steadied her breath, and walked back into the dining room, her smile a perfect mask. The week before the Christmas party, Diane had been off. Not her usual irritation when Lauren tracked sawdust onto the hardwood, but a sharper edge, criticizing Lauren's every move. Lauren chalked it up to holiday stress. The whole family was home that day, her father, Paul, a Yale economics professor, Vanessa, with her smug lawyer husband, Greg, and Lauren, the odd one out. Paul praised the remodel, oblivious to its cost. Greg, with his grating arrogance, grilled Lauren about her construction company's finances, his tone dripping with condescension. Lauren had built Harper Builds from nothing after college, starting with a toolbox and grit. Now, with 6 crews under her, it wasn't glamorous, but it paid well. Diane never approved of her unladylike career. Paul offered endless unsolicited advice, as if her success was a fluke. Vanessa and Greg treated her like a charity case, mocking her cute little business and probing when she'd get a real job. Their sarcasm was relentless, but Lauren endured it, hoping for acceptance. The Christmas party was flawless, on the surface. But the overheard conversation festered, turning dinner into a surreal out-of-body experience. Lauren poured wine, served prime rib, and laughed at Paul's dry academic jokes, all while watching Diane, this elegant stranger who'd broken her heart. Had that cold calculation always lurked behind her mother's smile? As Diane hummed carols while cleaning, Lauren insisted she rest and took over. Diane patted her cheek, murmuring, "What a good daughter." The hypocrisy burned like acid. Late that night, Lauren cracked Diane's laptop password on the second try. Emails between Diane and Greg, dating back a year, laid out a ruthless plan. Wait until the remodel was done. Transfer the inheritance to Vanessa. Then cut Lauren out. A spreadsheet cataloged Lauren's assets, remodel costs, and a timeline to erase her. Worse, Diane had siphoned $25 of Lauren's vacation fund contributions into a secret account. Then, Lauren found messages with T. Thomas, Paul's college friend and business partner. Years of texts revealed an affair, with Lauren's money fueling their clandestine life. Rage surged, but Lauren stayed calculated. The next day, she met a lawyer, sharing her findings. The house's deed, still in her parents' names, weakened her legal standing despite her $62 investment. Mediation was suggested, but Lauren was already fortifying her defenses. She installed discreet audio recorders in the living room and kitchen, and a camera in Diane's bedroom, lines she never thought she'd cross with family. By afternoon, she was back to baking cookies, chatting with neighbors about holiday plans, her mind racing with the betrayal unfolding inside her home. At dinner, Diane was distracted, obsessively checking her phone. "Who's Thomas?" Lauren asked casually, passing the mashed potatoes. Diane's hand froze. "Just a client," she muttered, flipping her phone face down. That tiny hesitation spoke volumes. Lauren smiled, but her plan was crystallizing. After dinner, Diane retreated to her study, claiming work. Lauren clattered dishes loudly, then crept to the hallway. Diane's voice drifted out, soft and intimate. "I can't call whenever I want. Just a bit longer. I miss you so much." Each word buried another shard of trust. Lauren didn't burst in. She returned to the kitchen, switched on the mixer, and refined her strategy. Over weeks, she documented every dollar spent on the house. Materials, contractors, custom bookshelves she'd built herself. The manicured lawn Diane demanded for parties. Total, $62. When Diane asked her to plan Vanessa's birthday party, Lauren saw her opening. She'd host a family financial meeting on the party day. A stage for her reckoning. Lauren prepared meticulously, recordings, screenshots, financial logs, all loaded onto a tablet. She chose a sharp blazer, crisp shirt, and polished boots, armor for the daughter they'd underestimated. On party morning, Diane set the table with heirloom china, oblivious to the storm brewing. As the doorbell rang, Paul arrived with a $200 Cabernet, followed by Vanessa and Greg. Diane's phone lit up with Thomas's name. But Lauren sat at the table's head, a folder of evidence by her plate, ready to unravel their perfect lie. The Christmas lights were gone, but the wreckage of Lauren Harper's family lingered like frost on a Connecticut morning. At 32, Lauren stood at the edge of her new life. The betrayal of her mother, Diane, sister, Vanessa, and Vanessa's husband, Greg, still raw. The dining room confrontation had shattered the illusion of family. And now, with a steely resolve forged in pain, Lauren was ready to reclaim her future. Her boots echoed on the hardwood as she walked out of the colonial house she'd poured $62 into, leaving behind a spare key on the workbench she'd built with her own hands. She wasn't running, she was drawing a line. Lauren moved into a sleek condo overlooking a frozen lake, 10 minutes from her construction company's office. The space was hers alone, high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a balcony where she sipped coffee at dawn, watching mist curl over the water. She blocked Diane's number, ignored Vanessa's texts, and filed restraining orders against Diane, Vanessa, and Greg the next day. Her lawyer, a sharp woman named Clara, warned that the house's deed, still in her parents' names, limited her legal claim to the remodel funds. But Lauren wasn't after the house anymore. She wanted freedom, and she'd fight for it with the same grit that built Harper builds from a single toolbox to a 6-crew empire. Back at the family home, Lauren's father, Paul, a Yale economics professor, launched his own investigation, devastated by Diane's decade-long affair with his college friend Thomas and the plan to cut Lauren from the inheritance. He hired a private investigator. The findings were brutal. Diane had funneled $25 of Lauren's vacation funds into a secret account for her and Thomas, while Greg had drafted legal documents to transfer the estate to Vanessa. Paul, his face etched with betrayal, met with his attorney. "Everything goes to Lauren," he declared, his voice low but unshakable. He revised his will, ensuring Lauren, the daughter who'd bankrolled the family's dreams, would inherit his entire estate, house, savings, investments. Diane's reaction was a storm of desperation. Her texts to Lauren flooded in, a chaotic arc from rage to groveling. "How dare you humiliate me? Read the first." Sent hours after the confrontation. By day 3, her tone shifted. "Lauren, please. We're family. Let's talk." By week 2, she was pleading. Thomas ended it. "I have no one. Don't do this." Lauren read each message in her condo's quiet, her heart a stone. She replied once, "All communication goes through my lawyer." Then she blocked Diane for good. Vanessa tried, too, sending a half-hearted apology. "I'm sorry, Lauren. I got caught up in Mom's plan." We're still sisters, right? Greg can help your business. Lauren forwarded the text to Clara, who added it to the restraining order file. Vanessa's words were as hollow as the family's promises. Lauren threw herself into work, finding solace in the rhythm of construction. Her crews respected her. She was the boss who'd swung hammers alongside them. Who knew every nail and beam? At her new office, a glass-walled space buzzing with blueprints and coffee, she landed a contract to build a community center. The project felt like a metaphor, creating something solid from chaos. Late nights, she sketched designs in her condo. Sawdust on her jeans, the lake glinting outside. The loneliness stung sometimes, but it was cleaner than the toxic ties she'd severed. Paul reached out a month later, his voice heavy with regret. I was blind, he wrote. I failed you. Lauren agreed to meet him for lunch at a quiet diner. Over coffee and sandwiches, they avoided talk of Diane or Vanessa, focusing instead on Paul's retirement plans and Lauren's latest projects. He'd left Yale, moved to a small town, and started teaching part-time at a community college. Their monthly lunches became a tentative bridge, built on shared wounds and a commitment to move forward. Paul's eyes softened when he spoke of Lauren's strength, calling her the only one with integrity. Diane's life unraveled. Thomas, spooked by Lauren's revelation to his wife, cut contact, leaving Diane alone in the house Lauren had remade. Neighbors whispered about the Harper scandal, and Diane's socialite facade crumbled. She sent one last email through Clara, begging for a meeting. Lauren didn't respond. Vanessa and Greg, facing legal scrutiny over the misappropriated funds, retreated to their Manhattan apartment, their smugness replaced by silence. 3 months later, Lauren's condo was a sanctuary. She'd hung her tools on a custom rack, set up a drafting table by the window, and framed a photo of her first construction site, a reminder of what she'd built without her family's approval. From her balcony, she watched spring thaw the lake, its ripples catching the sun. Moments of doubt crept in. Had she been too harsh? But then she'd remember Diane's whispered plans with Thomas, Vanessa's cruel laughter, and the $62 she'd poured into their betrayal. The ache faded, replaced by a quiet pride. One evening, as sunlight streamed through her window, Lauren unrolled a blueprint for a new project, a library with soaring windows and oak shelves. She measured the dimensions, but in her mind, she was measuring something bigger, the possibilities of a life unshackled. Her phone buzzed with a text from Paul. Proud of you. Kid, dinner Sunday? She smiled, typed, yes, and returned to her work. The future was hers to build, one beam at a time. Wow, what a journey for Lauren. What would you have done in her shoes? Confronted the family right away? Walked away silently, or planned a reveal like hers? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you'd handle this kind of betrayal. And if Lauren's story of strength and rebuilding hit home for you, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more gripping tales of resilience. Hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's keep the conversation going.